Your military grade A is your Pinnacle, but it's a cargo ship, guys. It's a drop ship, guys. I mean, do what you want. This is the Pinnacle. What up, guys? It's your boy Astro here, back at it again with another video. And we're here with the IronClad, and we're going to go over the assaults, the assault or the IronClad, their base. But if you guys want to talk about guns and builds, we're going to go over the assault because it has more guns. You can basically use the same build for the regular IronClad, but it has less guns. But we're doing all kinds of stuff today. We're talking about the new weapon rebalances and the armor rebalances and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, you're going to get your IronClad build plus a lot of good information. So if you like that sort of thing, you know what to do. Smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting you ready for 4.8, and we're preparing you beforehand. These videos are going to drop before the IronClad's even out, so you'll know what to do and you'll hit the ground running. So yeah, again, if you like this sort of thing, you know what to do. Also, come by, stop by the live stream. If when 4.8 comes out, we'll be streaming probably 16 hours a day, grinding out like crazy because the full wipe. And we're going to be having lots of fun, so make sure you stop by Twitch or YouTube. Come say hi. If you want to play with us, come stop by and play with us, man. Join the org. We're always looking for new people, pilots, fleet, any gameplay you want to run, all that kind of stuff. So hope to see you then, and all that beautiful stuff. So IronClad, that's what we're talking about. Let's get to the build. There's lots to talk about to give you guys a little bit of information on the weapon rebalances and armor rebalances, and we'll go through all that. But this is an IronClad, and this one's going to be hard for me to get through, but we're going to get through it. Okay, so here's your base IronClad. We're going to talk about what I think you should be running component wise and all kinds of stuff. I actually think the IronClad itself comes with it, or actually I don't think the IronClad itself comes with the best guns in the game right now. For 4.8, these ballistic Gatling guns all the way across the board are the best guns in the game currently. For 4.8, but there maybe not be the best guns in the game for the IronClad assault, but for most PvP situations, these Gatling guns are your go-to stuff nowadays. So it's actually kind of a good ship to pull the guns off of to use for other ships. But nonetheless, this is a great build to deter fighter ships away from your ship and protect you. So I'm going to leave this first setup basically the same and just change the components and talk about the Pinnacle IronClad, the best you can get it if you had the best gear in the game. Obviously in 4.8, you're going to be starting fresh and you're not going to have some of these components. But when you do, this is what you're going to want it to look like. Okay, so as we scroll down here, these are your weapons. You start off with the 85Bs and shredders across the board. And I think they're fine weapons to start with. This Scorpion, I think, is the guns that are inside the hangar, so it doesn't really matter. You can change them to buzzsaws if you want, but it doesn't make that much of a big deal because these are inside the ship guns, I believe, right? So, but if you want them to be in order with the other ones, change them to solid blocks. As far as your missiles and bombs or your torpedoes, I would leave them at electromagnetic reapers. That's good for me. Should be good for you. Of course, whenever you can and you reach the Pinnacle, you're going to want to put your FR86s on this bad boy. But putting 4 FR86s on an IronClad, what are you doing with your life, man? But if you want it and you have the extra components and you want the Pinnacle, that's the Pinnacle. Okay? Same with the JS500s. Your military grade A is your Pinnacle, but it's a cargo ship, guys. It's a drop ship, guys. I mean, do what you want. This is the Pinnacle. Coolers, there is you don't want to do them. I mean, you could run the military grade A blizzards if you want, but you can buy these cryo stars or any of the things that give you power minimum at 2, and they'll be just as good. So I would suggest just buying the civilian grade B coolers, whether you buy the cryo stars or the frostbite, it doesn't really matter. Just go buy those. Those are your best coolers. The military grade ones are, but they're the same thing. Like you might as well buy these and don't waste your blizzards or bother looking for blizzards or whatever the case is. Then your quantum drive, of course, the Pinnacle is the TS2. That's the Pinnacle. Of course, you won't have it in the beginning, but that's the Pinnacle. And for a cargo ship, I think that is kind of necessary. If you're looking for a beautiful cargo ship, you want to put the military grade A quantum drive on it because you want it to move fast. That one I agree with. Your radar, go ahead and switch that to military grade A too. You don't need full pips in it, just a minimum, but it's the best choice you have, I guess. So that's your build, right? So here's your pips on the side here that we're messing with. You can drop these coolers on the side. You could even drop your life support in most situations, and you can go full into there. So if you want to, you can have life supports, maybe 2 into life supports, or you can have a second cooler, however you want to do it, because you're running full ballistics. You have lots of different options, lots of cool stuff. All this stuff is going to be in the description. These builds, they're going to be in the description for you guys to click on and check out. Again, these weapons here, these ballistic gatlins, do 127 alpha damage alongside with their shredders that do 81. This does matter. We're going to talk about this at a little bit later in the video, but these matter, and I'll show you why they matter in a minute. But as far as what I'm talking about, Pinnacle stuff, this is the best stuff you can get. But I wouldn't necessarily build my IronClad this way. So I'm going to show you the second way of doing this, and we're going to do it straight together. Okay, so this is your base IronClad. What I would recommend for you to do is maybe if you have the monies and stuff, again, it's a cargo ship, guys, or a drop-off ship. The guns, they're not that important. Please don't go out doing crazy combat missions with an IronClad. It is slow as shit. It is slow as shit. And it is big. And it's, look at its pitching, y'all. Don't go come. But if you do. All right. What I recommend is to put on the M series cannons. The M series cannons are the best lasers in the game right now, and Omni Skies and Light Strikes mean nothing in this game anymore. So if you're going to run cannons, use your M series cannons. You could run attritions if you want, or laser repeaters if you want, but I recommend the M series cannons. The reason why this is, look at the alpha damage on these things. 922 alpha damage, and I'll again show you why that's important later. So put M series cannons all the way across the board, M5As all the way across the board, M5As all the way across the board for the best bang for your buck. M5As all the way across the board. Okay, these other ones, these are inside. You can put them as M4As, or honestly, I'd probably leave these as ballistics to maybe save you a pip, but it seems like they don't actually save you a pip. Anyways, then you keep your electromagnetic torps, and what you can go for shields to buy is your civilian grade shields. So you're going to want to go from your industrial C's to your civilian grade A's, which are your NAR guns. Okay, you can buy these ones. Yes, they cost a lot of money because they're size 3 shields and they cost a lot of money. But if you're looking for things that you can purchase with money when you start making money, these are what you're going to buy instead of finding your military grade stuff. And same thing with your power plants. You're going to buy your industrial A. These are just as good as most things, and you can buy these. So go ahead and do that. And the coolers. The coolers are not changing. The coolers, you can still just run the Cryo Star Extra Large or the Frostbites. Those are the best coolers. You might as well just run them. However you want to do that is up to you. Okay. And then your quantum drive, if you can't get a hold of a TS2, you're going to want to get your industrial grade one, your Agni. Okay, your Agni is what you can purchase and is what you're going to be looking for. And then your radar is still going to be your military grade A radar. And as you see, the IronClad has a couple pip issues and all that kind of stuff. So let's drop some of these coolers. Let's drop the life supports. You can go full into pips on your guns, and then full into your thrusters, and then maybe an extra in there. You could even drop, nope, you can't drop there. So And that's how you would run your pips on your IronClad with your M series cannons. This is what I recommend if you're going to be running the IronClad. You might as well put on the big cannons. And let's talk about why the alpha damage matters, okay? So there's a whole new weapon balance and armor balance, and it all has to do with this armor damage threshold, okay? So this is a big part of the game now, and it's a new rebalance. And this is how much armor ships have in the game. Okay, as you can see, starting at starter ships and light fighters and things like that, they don't have any armor. Any guns will probably really do. So as the IronClad that has big guns, you're not really worried about that. And your problem with these small ships is if you could even hit them. But I digress. Moving up the list, you go into medium fighters and things like that. But then you go up to your light multi-crew and your heavy fighters, okay? These start to have more armor on them and start to struggle with dealing damage to them. We'll show you how those sawbucks can still do damage to basically all these ships here, but it has some small setbacks. But then as you go up to the 400i and above, your sawbucks are no longer good, or your shredders are no longer going to be able to deal damage to these bigger, heavy multi-crew ships like Connies and Corsairs and Paladins and stuff. You're no longer going to be able to do damage to these guys. So that's why we talked about the M series cannons. Same thing with up here. A lot of your guns are not going to be able to do damage to these big, heavy gunships or capital ships or sub-capital ships. So this is why we talked about those M series cannons. The M5As do 410 alpha damage. So the M5As will be able to hurt everything on here up until the Perseus and Polaris and stuff. Then your size 3 guns will no longer be able to do damage. Now let's talk about this into a further detail by showing you the showcase of the ship in SP Viewer's calculator. So we're going to go up to the Drake IronClad Assault, and we're going to change some of these guns out. Well, actually, we're going to leave, so we're going to change this to the M7A, and we're going to leave that as a shredder, and we're going to change one of these to the M5A, okay? Now let's go down here and click on this calculator button, and we're going to fight, say, let's start something low, like the Hornet, right? Okay. So as you can see here with the Hornet with full shields, your shredders go straight through it, and you're perfectly fine. Everything is going to murder this F7A. You're having no problems, okay? No problems when its shields drop, the M7As and the other lasers deal damage. It's actually showing here, showing you that the Scorpion will not deal damage, but again, that's the gun that's inside, but that's a showcase that some guns will not deal damage to the F7A at all. All right, some guns just don't have enough oomph. Moving on, let's go up to a little bit bigger of a ship, like a Vanguard Harbinger is the heavy fighter I usually use as a showcase. You can see here that the shredder deflects off of the Vanguard Harbinger heavy fighter when its shields are fully up. But as the shields begin to drop, the shredder will eventually be able to deal damage around 40% shields, and the shredder will be able to begin doing damage to the heavy fighters. So this is why, like, I say to use these M5 cannons instead of the shredders, because if you're shooting a heavy fighter, you're not going to deal damage till you get his shields a little bit lower. Moving on to even a bigger ship, like the big bad boys you're going to be fighting, you're going to be fighting in PvP areas where I don't recommend to bring the IronClad, but just to make you happy and showcase this, we can shoot a Polaris, okay? And the Polaris, as you can see, the shredders don't do damage. The Scorpion doesn't do damage. As the shields begin to drop, even when the shields drop all the way down, the shredder doesn't do damage at all. Even the M5A laser cannon does not do enough damage to hurt the Polaris at all. Only your M7A size 5 laser cannon will be able to deal damage to the Polaris. When the armor begins to drop, your M5A will start to pick up, and then again, if armor continues to drop even further, eventually your other guns will be able to hit through too. But that's a brief little crash course on the alpha damage and armor plating and all that kind of stuff on the new balance changes in 4.8. So I hope this helped. This was your IronClad build and setup. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I'm always here to help. Stop by the live stream. Come join us. Come play with us. This is the best place for information, hands down. Until next time. All this information will be in the description. Adios.